welcome to Ryam.
Very merry on birthday.
Me?
To Scoot.
A very merry on birthday.
For me?
For Scoot.
Now blow the candle out, my dear.
And make your wish come true. A very
Very merry on birthday to you.
You.
Okay, I genuinely wasn't expecting that. I was definitely expecting it last time, Gaffer, so you got me on that one. But welcome to Ryam, everyone, and I hope all you table tops and bottoms are having a good evening or day or whenever you're listening to this. Normally this is where we do a question, but I have a bit of a different scheme cooked up tonight. So I'm going to ask everyone to just quickly introduce themselves and their characters before we get started.
I'm Kate. I play Allie, our half-tiefling, half-kitsune monk.
I'm Deb. I play Tessa, our tiefling paladin.
I'm Robert. I play Nikki, our human wizard.
I'm Randall. I play Kiki, the Kenku Tinkerer.
That can talk now.
That can talk in common quite fluently. It's
Quite
exciting.
fluently. So, now we've all heard of that, the old marry, fuck, kill game. I'm sure we've all played it at one point or not at a drinking, party or as an icebreaker. So I've come up with a couple of lists for the gaffers to go through. So we're going to see how this goes and get a little bit of a feel for you folks to answer this as yourselves. These are some NPCs most of you have met and most people have met in the game. So we are going to go in the order that you folks are on my screen. So it's going to be Kate, Deb, Robert, and then Randall. And then when we go to the next list, we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to go back.
Point of order. You listed for the question this week that it was fuck, marry, friend, not
Sorry.
fuck, marry, kill.
My apology. It is, but our version, because we don't want to do murder, is
Thank
fuck,
you.
marry, friend. So it's based on, it's the same thing except we got rid of the kill. So, my dear gaffers, our first set of folks are what I refer to as silver foxes. Randall was one of these, obviously, but in the world of Ryam, the three I've given you for your fuck, marry, friend is King Rin of Anshin, Phyllis, the seneschal for Lady Nikki Doxborn, and Gen von Lyken. Take it away, Kate.
Fuck King Rin, marry Gen von Lyken, friend Phyllis.
Deb.
Taking each group. Okay. Yeah, I would marry King Rin, friend Phyllis, and fuck Gen von Lyken.
I'm definitely with Deb on fucking Gen von Lyken, marrying Phyllis, and friending King Rin.
Okay.
I am for, it's tough. Fucking Gen von Lyken, marrying King
Oh,
Rin,
yeah.
and friending
Oh, yeah.
Phyllis.
Okay. That's the first list down of 4. So the next category, folks, is women that know what they want. And in this category, we have the Harbor Mistress Dala of Anshin, Salon, the Aloran High Priestess, and Locke, the Goliath security guard that is in Nikki's land. So starting with Randall.
Friend, Harbor Mistress Della. Fuck Locke and marry Salon, the Lauren High Priestess, because let's just, you said no reasons, but I'm like, a lifetime of excellent sex with an Lauren Priestess? I mean.
Yeah, no. It's a clear choice.
Yes.
Robert.
Exact same answers for the exact same reason.
Deb.
I would say friend Dala, fuck Salon, and marry Locke because I don't share. And I'm not sharing Salon.
Okay, fair.
And that's not gonna, that doesn't, we have different goals.
You gotta get that lock on lock. I got it. Kate.
Fuck Dala, friend Locke, marry Salon.
Okay. The next category is literal dragons. Like actual dragons. Elzoff, the Rakai that sort of has a thing going on with Nikki. Goldara, one of the heads of the Council of Ten, which you met at that gala. And as sort of a curveball, Jorah and Mala of Anshin, the kind of high crafters. And this is a package deal, so you would get both of them in whatever relationship you enter into. Kate?
Fuck Jorah and Mala, marry Goldara, friend Elzoff.
I would friend Elzoff, I would marry Goldara, and I would fuck Goldara and marry Jorah Mal because I'm not a homewrecker.
We will friend Dora and Mala because I'm not a homewrecker. Marry Goldara because I am, and fuck Elzoth because obviously.
Because you are, in theory.
Because I am actively doing that. Yes.
Randall.
Friend Azoth, marry Goldara, and fuck Jorah and Mala.
Okay. And finally,
Oh.
the category of chaos. So this includes Hot Dog Guy, the ever-present Radia, the most terrible rogue ever, and a deck of many things. Starting with Randall.
Oh, this is so bad. Okay, so fuck a deck of many things.
Bold.
'Cause, I mean,
Make like a House of Cards situation, like mechanics.
Yeah, working on it.
paper cuts. Ouch. Okay.
Having things a sex toy if you're brave enough.
I guess. Oh God, this hurts my soul. All this.
This is meant to, by the way. This is the...
I have to marry Hot Dog Guy to friend Radia. Like the least I could have to. Like she's gonna be the problem friend. So okay, there you have it.
Spoiler, she is. So your instincts are right there. Robert.
I'm actually pretty much on the same train there. If you don't think a deck of many things can't make itself into a sex toy just for you, then you aren't trying hard enough with it. Marry the Hot Dog Guy. And is it too bold to ask if we can keep Kill around? I feel like this might actually make the whole world a better place.
You're not.
That's a waste. She cannot be killed. She's
No.
died like
Yeah,
4
you're
times
right.
already. She's like a
I'll go with
cockroach, man.
friend.
She just comes back.
7 lives. Let's
That's a
let's
really
pick
bad
another one.
copper. Yep.
9
Deb.
lives.
I would marry Hot Dog Guy, friend Roddy because I actually am her friend, and fuck a deck of many things.
Kate.
Does the bonus offer still stand, Scoot?
It does still stand.
Would you like to tell people what the bonus offer is?
So the bonus offer I gave to the gang is they could swap out, of the 3 choices, one person for either Somek or Bosco if they answered on camera who they would, what canonical couple they would be the unicorn or manticore for. Kate, would you like to explain what a unicorn/manticorn is?
Yeah, so typically that is a single or at least available individual of the gender preferred by the couple who's there to hook up, possibly enter like a more significant triad relationship, but generally referred to as a unicorn because it is real damn hard to find somebody who likes both of you in some degree of equitableness and wants to hook up with both of you. Often a bi-female or a bi-male is considered a unicorn or a manticore.
Now, we'll put one more caveat on this, Kate. It can't be one of your couples that you're involved in as the PC.
Otherwise, I absolutely would have answered like the Ali, Kem, and Bendo trio.
Yep. So who would it be? What NPC couple would it be?
I mean, there's a really obvious answer here. Neri and Val. Like, for fuck's sake, who wouldn't want to be a third for, like, the literal high priestess of the goddess of sex and love?
Fair.
Intimidating.
I do one.
Anyway, in terms of the remaining people in the Chaos group, this allows me to swap out at least one person with either Somek or Bosco. I'm swapping out Radia.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be friends with Somek.
Yeah.
And also, Hot Dog Guy seems like a hoot. I could see, like, we could do the whole committed long-term relationship thing. I would marry Hot Dog Guy.
And you always have hot dogs.
And it would never be boring.
So you would fuck a deck of many things.
We all.
No, she swapped. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
No, she took
Yeah, I
out
would-
Radia
I would
for
definitely-
that.
Oh.
So she would be the friend of Somek, fuck a deck of many things, and
Marry Hot Dog Guy.
marry Hot Dog Guy. Yep.
The reason why I said fuck a deck of many things, it's the shortest possible interval of time I could spend with a deck of many things.
Well, are you sure? Because if you're, you get that void card, that's a problem.
You said
So
the
There's
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
logistical
yeah.
concerns
Card.
with a deck of many things.
are you saying the effects of the cards of the deck of many things are going to be like an STI or something? Like
They are now.
It's the chaos. Thank you
Oh,
for the idea,
no.
Randall.
Oh no!
You've drawn the tower card, which means that your tower is having a bad day.
Oh no.
Now I gotta look at the whole list.
Okay.
What is the most correct tarot card
For-
to indicate an STI.
So thank you all, Gaffers, for your honesty. And while Deb looks up what sort of monstrous nightmare STDs you could get from a deck of many things based on the bad cards,
Talons.
which there are a lot of, by the way. It's about 60%
Flames.
bad cards.
Flames
Yeah,
would be
that's just
fun.
syphilis. That's just
Ruin.
straight up syphilis.
Oh,
Ruin.
We'll get to our actual game now. Last week,
what?
a lot
Play games here?
happened. Yes, Rob, we do sometimes. Kiki had a big fucking day as she opted to give away her puzzle cube for some very critical answers to the Gaffers in their quest against the Druid, which also led them to a high peak on the roof of the world to acquire a sort of triad hammer, if you will, as there are a soul of a human paladin or some kind of paladin, a fae, and a demon. And Kiki also got a bunch of other information off screen that gave the Gaffers knowledge about the Druid's next moves. I saw Kate already went into full planning mode, so Kate, do you want to share what info you got?
Yes. So the information that we were given was that currently happening, emissaries have gone to the country of Narvo and Lasana to attempt to barter for an alliance. We are making progress there slowly but surely. We know that the Druid has captured a fortified Fae gate in the Thousand Isles. It used to be a home to a clan of isolationist/survivalist lizard folks, but the structure is currently being reinforced and the gateway is being reconstructed, which is bad. We also learned some future events. In 2 months, a major attack will be launched at the lizard folk city of Zamzadun. This is going to be made to seem like a joint attack from all 4 Fae courts and an act of war with the goal of provoking the lizard folks to attack the courts to kind of reinforce the Druid's point that mortals need to be purged, and then more Fae will join him theoretically. In 3 months, multiple small to medium attackers on the Merfolk shore and resettlements will be made to ignite hostilities between the surface world and the Empire below. They're mostly going to be raids, and so the things that we've kind of come up with so far is that, one, need to try and establish some kind of diplomatic relationships with the lizard folk in the Thousand Isles, which will likely involve the geckos in some capacity, to help avert a war between them and the Fae. 2, we need to warn the Fae courts, possibly through Neva, about the Druid's attempts to manipulate them with the lizard folk. And 3, reinforce our relationships with the merfolk and offer to help them shore up, pun thoroughly intended, their defenses if need be.
Yep. So you folks have a lot going on as
Yep.
we
Left.
rise up on the next day, the next morning after, Kiki had some... Kiki's probably spent a little time with their parents as, they're using their voices for the first time, which is an odd sensation for them, not just being able to purely mimic. But it's a new day, Gaffers, and Kiki has provided you this information thanks to those cubes that Occam provided to her. So, what do you want to do?
We have to deal with the immediate stuff first.
Yeah.
So in order, are we thinking establish relationships with the lizard folks, go deal with that Fae gate, and... Well, I mean, so the thing is, Neva wouldn't be going with everybody, but Neva has been basically dispatched by the World Tree to help out until the Druid is captured. So you could send Neva to the Fae courts right now to go talk to them. That's a thing that could be done. And we could also send word to the merfolk without having to go there ourselves right this moment. Like, we can say, hey, we wanted to let you know as soon as we receive this information, we're going to come and talk to you more about it, but we have to go deal with an emerging threat in these isles. We think
They're
that's good.
isolationists, so do they have means of communication like that?
So those are the
I'm sure
lizard
there's
folk.
arcane merfolk.
Lizard folks are the isolationists.
The lizard folk are the isolationists.
Yeah, we've
I'm
contacted
still sure there's arcane them.
Yeah, we've contacted the Wave Master.
So the wave tender of
Wave tender.
Tender.
the wave tender to the north does have good relationships with you. He's your one point of probably talking to and getting some kind of response from. But to clarify, the lizard folk in the Isles. There are pockets of like survivalist, isolationist ones that just don't bother people, but they don't want to be bothered either. And it seems like they were wiped out or seemingly wiped out or lost their kind of holdings of this old ruin. So the not all the lizard folk are isolationists. Some are very, you've had some at galas and stuff. Right. But this one seemed to be a fairly larger clan or gathering or group of them.
I mean, I will say my impression of the merfolk is that they're a very proud race and not entirely trustful of people who live on the land. So I think Kate, was your idea, whoever's idea was to message them respectfully is frame it as respect the sovereignty of your nation, and we'll let you know that people are going to attempt, one, to attack you, and two, to manipulate you through these attacks. And we would love to engage with you more about this, but we wanted you to have this information at the earliest available opportunity.
We could say something along the lines of one, we want to give you this information as quickly as possible so that you can react to it. Two, since we're aware of it, we're going to keep an eye on the view from land. Basically, if they come from land, we're going to try our best to, A, hinder them, and B, let you know when we see it happening. But we wanted to let you know in advance because we recognize the sovereignty of your nation. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
Could we? I really am tempted on instinct to have someone deliver the message versus just pick them up on a cell phone. Can we poll the people in the that we're closest with among temple staff and the staff, Nikki's staff, and just is there anyone that has an in? Because I know they're ocean.
There absolutely is, because if you folks remember, a certain den mother has set up a love hotel in and around the Quellback estate. And remember, he was the one that sent Nikki's problematic relative to Tide's Breach.
So we definitely do have an end there. I also on our last
literally have it in there.
Hey, thank you, Kate.
Stop it register on Scoot's face, and it was great.
I am invoking my
I also
coupon.
On our shit. All right, that's gonna be.
Are
tough.
you?
I'm invoking a coupon. Yep.
Okay, explain to the listeners in case they didn't hear that episode.
So, one of the gifts we gave Scoot is a coupon at any time that he can invoke, wherein we cannot make any puns for the rest of the night.
Is there a penalty if you fail?
No.
Do I get
2
it back?
coupons. No, I don't know.
I mean, you're God, so
Accidental puns. What if you say something and you didn't mean for it to be pun?
I don't believe you people do that.
Scoot, on the flip side, do you think Kate and I are capable of communication without accidental pun?
Then you shouldn't have given me this coupon, should you?
Yeah, we'll do our best.
Time for us to set up our DMs and start messaging our puns back and forth instead of saying them aloud.
That's fine, as long as I don't have to deal with them.
This channel's gonna be on fire today.
The coupon has been invoked. Let it be known.
So it sounds like our best way to go then is to make use of that den mother to deliver the message.
I did also, on our most recent bout of level ups, pick up Dream.
I don't know Dream.
I can show up in someone's dreams.
Oh.
Just
I feel like without prior notice, that might be considered invasive by them.
It is possible. It's probably something where I'd want to send a message beforehand and be like, got news for you, okay if I talk in your dream tonight? Something like that. I've never done this before.
Move, Nikki.
I don't know if it's considered polite, but it's an option if we don't have...
Wait, doesn't the wave tender have a summoning stone, or the sending stone?
Yeah,
because he's part of the conclave.
Yep.
So we could just use that.
No, that's a lot easier.
You could just pick up the phone and call. That's why I had that made.
That's probably a better idea, and we're really glad Tessa did that right now.
I feel like Nikki and Allie and Kiki have a Charlie board out, and they're trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. And Tessa looks at the wall and picks up
I got him on the
stone.
phone right now, but wants to.
Yeah.
We've been talking about
Charlie board is just a noun of its own.
We've been talking about
feed
cookies.
their dreams.
Yeah.
Kiki was trying to design a long-range trebuchet and a note tied to a stone and was waterproof ink. She was going all for it. So yeah, you cut through that.
Punching in the numbers. Hey, is the wave center there? Yeah, Tessa's on hold.
Like a little elevator music, but it's nautical. It's like a sea shanty.
Oh.
Soon may the Wellerman come.
To bring. Yep.
Just tap
so
my
yeah,
foot.
you you get on, he responds, "Hello, champion, is there something wrong?"
Not yet. So
That's ominous.
it's because I think Randall and Kate already said it so eloquently. I'm gonna just pretend
you'll
to explain that.
Okay. Oh, that's not
I
good.
say the thing that they said to say. Yeah.
He gets very concerned. He goes, "I will do my best, but a lot of my brethren and kin, I don't know if they're going to listen to me, but I will try."
We figured you should know at the very least.
No, we will prepare the defenses in Tide's Breach, but I will send word.
All right. Best of luck.
Thank you. Do you have any more of those doshnesses?
Yeah. I mean, just whenever you want.
Cool. I'll send a turtle.
I'll make sure that they're in a waterproof container.
Yeah. He's just literally going to send a shell back to Gull's Way to pick up these
I
doshnesses.
would have to make like triple the amount because I'm gonna have to give like a double portion to the shell back.
If Tessa could convey, Kiki would ask if let the Wave Tender should use his best judgment, but how few or how many people he wants to tell this to, right? In other words, it could be ooga ooga, everyone should know, and that's fine. We trust his judgment, especially the merfolk's collective judgment, but this is also do you also want to kind of surprise them if and when when the attack manifests? So
pass it along. Yeah, whatever you want to say.
A sailing ship alarm sound might be considered culturally insensitive in this context.
Ooga ooga? Is that a whaling ship sound?
A shipping ship sound, I think.
Oh.
A
foghorn?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was going for. Okay.
Anywho, so that message is out.
Okay. Check that off the list of things to do. What else needs to be done right now?
We need to find which of the geckos has the highest charisma score.
Yeah, we have to look at their classes. So I'm going to bring up the picture real quick. Who's going to be a charisma character?
So we might want a small party of them, right? Not just a single one. So might want Sis to be help them find the,
So none of them are charisma based.
Oh dear.
They're adorable, though.
They are. They have a natural charisma score.
The eyebrow from Randall.
I know. I was just that's a little bit of a wrinkle. Okay, we need a training montage, obviously, for the geckos around diplomacy.
Get them in a classroom. Get their little
That's
hats.
Right. That's right.
Give them a little graduation ceremony. It'll be amazing.
Well, gosh, I mean, were we thinking of sending the geckos on their own, or to be there as a point of introduction for us? I guess is another good.
We could go with them, because I have a high persuasion, so I might be able to help. But we also have the issue in Lasana too.
Right, that's true. That's even more imminent.
I am concerned about a Fae gate, though, because that, if left unchecked, could allow more things to come in. And I think the emissaries are probably under control. They're not going to be creating portals in Narvo, I don't think. Hopefully not.
Could be.
I don't know.
Where are we heading, Gaffers?
Well, we're trying to figure out where to physically head. I mean, I agree that obviously the most imminent, time sensitive has to.
And we probably should send Neva to the Feywilds. That seems to make sense.
Kiki,
Yeah.
give me an intelligence check, Kiki.
Intelligent Kiki's doing her thing. Oh, great. You know what?
Well, you have the divination rolls if you want.
Oh, that's true. I will use the 17. Thank you for that reminder.
Okay. So with a total of 23. You're looking at kind of like a map in front of you, kind of where to go, where to send things, but you notice that 2 of your current objectives are in the Thousand Isles. the Fae Gate that's taken is in the Thousand Isles, as well as the city of Zandun is in. They're both there. So you're at least in the area of two birds, one stone with one trip. As Liaisons would be a different
that's
way.
anti-Kinku, right? Talk right there.
That's true.
No, I'm just kidding. Kiki would probably just say that because she can say so much now. You guys are going to get an earful when we're traveling anywhere because she's just like, now she can speak fluently. Yeah, so she would point that out to the group.
We want to send somebody else to Liaisons, maybe Bendo, since she's really good at like politics and stuff, or maybe some of the other NPCs. Or do we want to like do that ourselves too, like later?
Bendo is a trained like diplomat. Like,
Thing she does, yes.
that's why she's here. Actually, is to help you with that.
I would recommend dispatching her for it, yes.
Okay. Kem will go with her as a sort of guard, and those two will head off to Liaisons then.
We could send more people with them too, like if they need like.
Well, there'll be like a retinue that goes with them.
Yeah.
So Kem and Bendo go off. Neva goes off to the Feywilds to kind of get the court's attentions, heading from the probably starting at the crossroads. So are you folks heading down to the Thousand Isles?
Sounds like it.
Okay.
Oh, we need to bring some of the geckos though too.
Okay.
Do you want to bring all of them? Will they go separate from each other, or are they a package deal?
None of them snuck around, you know, like they've. Well, that's a great question, actually. The more I think about what you just said, why don't we leave it? Why don't we just propose it to them and just say
It's like the Council of
it's
Elrond when like Frodo and Sam get put on a mission, and then the other hobbits come like, oh, "You're not going without me."
So if
I think maybe we could ask them.
yeah, if you pose it to them, as soon as you Barry begins thinking about like who to take, but all of them begin packing stuff.
I do say, guys, listen, we need some of you here to defend the temple, because we can't leave it without its best defenders. So, only a few of you should come with us.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, Tessa.
Oh no!
No.
They're doing puppy dog eyes.
They're doing puppy dog eyes.
How about a 30? I have really high wisdom save.
All of them stare at you with incredible puppy dog eyes because they crit.
Oh,
Yes.
no. All right, you can all come.
It's like the Care Bear stare. It's
Yeah.
like
I can't do anything with a crit, guys. I'm sorry. They're too cute.
And they all pack. So how are you getting down to the Thousand Isles, by the way?
Oh, do I let me check my list to see if I have a heartway. I don't think I do, but
I don't believe you have an active heartway down there.
how far is it by? Don't we have ships at our disposal now?
You got a boat.
So
Yes,
Tessa has a
boat.
boat. You have flying boats as well from Ethos.
Yeah, how far? How fast?
I do.
by flying
I have a heartway in Mundus, Thousand Islands, lizard folk.
Okay, you can take that then.
Cool.
even faster.
Don't know where Mundus is, but we'll figure it
We're
out.
going.
So wait, remind me and the listeners, how many geckos are there? Because they
11.
are.
There are
There's
11
11
geckos.
geckos.
Oh my god, Kiki is going to insist that we come up with a buddy system for the geckos.
Had them
Where's-
like leashed up, like
Do
you
it
know how
like
they
Yes.
walk like
kids.
kids, like like at recess time where the kids walk and then they're all attached to a leash thing. I don't know what they're called.
Do we need to pin notes to them to say if lost, please return to the free
Yeah.
peaks?
Put it on their back, just a sign.
So they all show up ready to go when you folks are when you're booting up the Heartway. This was going to take a little. You don't go to this one very often, and it's not probably overseen by a full-fledged Lauren temple in Thousand Isles.
That'd be really small if it's there.
Yeah, so you're getting it together and you're powering it up, but all the geckos show up with little ascot neckerchiefs and backpacks, and some of them have badges on, because they have joined the Nature Scouts, which is basically scouting program that Thrax started as a New Year's resolution, and they all have little hats. Shirley
Different
is
levels of badges.
yeah,
too.
Shirley is eating a brownie, just eating a brownie.
Are you sure their charisma scores haven't gone up because because like I'm here like just the kawaii like so cute.
I don't know if the other lizard folk will think that.
Oh shit. Their ways are mysterious to us.
Their ways are mysterious.
But Barry has a little like pole and banner that's taller than they are. It's like in a group tour guide situation, and it's basically just got a picture of Bosco like mid bark on it. And he seems really ready to go.
Kiki will ask Tessa if she can give them some like basic, like if things go poorly, you're just some instructions. Like, yes, we could use your help. You'll be invaluable to make introductions, maybe even translate. But like, just something so that they're not like. I fear. I fear for the babies.
So, guys, huddle up.
Everyone huddles around Tessa.
You guys have a very, very important role today. Is you are going to be our liaisons to the lizard folk, which means that you're going to help us with the language and the culture. But I need you to stay close to me, and I need you to respect the customs and the culture. And if you find yourself in danger for any reason, come right back to me. Okay. Or find somebody else, Kiki or Allie or Nikki. Lily,
Everyone nods.
Like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Barry goes, bodyguard formation, and they all form like a testudo square around Tessa.
You know what? I'm just gonna go with that. Alright, how far are we from the place we actually need to be?
So, Mundus is one of the larger cities down the Thousand Isles, but it's sort of scattered. There's lots of islands everywhere. Looking for a quick part of the map. Zanzadum is not far. You might have to get on a boat. Not like a big sailing boat, but like, a sloop or something to get over to it. Mundus is like a bigger city. Zanzadum is a decently large town, basically.
Have to find a boat.
Yeah.
To the docks, then.
All the continents. So here in Mundus, you see a lot of things that are sort of new to you. Different variants of like all the different types of folks from kind of the northern hemisphere. You see you see ships from Ethos. You see a lot more Volcani dwarves. The Duraheim have thinned out a bit as you've gotten this far south. You see owl folk, like just people like these talking, moving around owls. There's also a boat. There's a lot of turtles. There's actually an entire like couple of boats of them fishing off into the waters. But again, a lot of different variety of lizard folk. But you also see lots of geckos that look like your geckos that are just kind of moving around, doing their thing.
Ice guys, geckos.
Yeah, but they're like everywhere. Like they're just doing their lives and doing their things. It seems like if you had gnomes or like halflings around, like just that sort of version of that for the lizard folk.
Never seen Nikki's eyes so big.
No. All right, and Barry's like, all right, let's go. And then he leads you towards the docks. And he seems to know where he's going.
Been here before?
I was born here.
Oh! Well, welcome home. Is there anything we should check out if we have some time later when we come back?
Yeah, we should definitely see the Mosquito Races.
I will add that to the list for the return journey.
Yeah, we make them.
Tessa's secretly hoping everybody forgets about that.
Yeah, we make them. They get real big here, but they're real good. They're real good to eat. As you're walking through the city, mosquitoes. Tessa, you see them, and it's a mosquito like the size of a cow.
As a player, I am uncomfortable because I hate mosquitoes because they bite me a lot. Fuck them. Anyway.
Yep, you head to a docks, and then you see a version of. It looks like there's a gecko running, kind of the docks in like a chem situation, but it looks like a much older Barry. He's definitely scarred, and the scales are little fucked up from having been in fighting for a while, and Allie having spent a lot of time with Kem. This gecko has scars like Kem does. Like, his hands are fucked up from handling ropes. He's definitely seen some fights. He's been in clashing with pirates that are very aggressive attacks, and he doesn't wear a lot of armor because you don't want to be in heavy plate on a boat on the water. That's a bad thing. And he throws his arms open, and you see this older gecko is like just a little bit taller than Barry is, just kind of scoop him up into a big hug, and all the other geckos just kind of move up. And there's a lot of this older gecko is very happy to see Barry.
Aw, we're gonna have to take you here more often. I had no idea.
No, that's cool. Barry's like, don't worry, Miss Hessa, I'm out living my life and being awesome. And he like strikes a pose and looks out into the distance.
With his watermelon helmet.
With his watermelon helmet, and it just comes behind him and... Sorry, Laverne comes behind him and shakes a little cape, so it looks like it's blowing in the wind, even though there's not a whole lot of wind. And the older one kind of looks up to you and goes, "Oh, you're the big mammal lady that he's been writing about."
Yes.
Yep. And he puts up his, to you, small hand, and he to shake it.
I gently shake his hand.
Yep. My name is Terry, and I'm the harbor master around here.
Hi, Terry. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yep. Nice to meet you, Miss Tessa. You must be Mr. Kiki. Sorry, Miss Kiki. And he's kind of looking back and forth.
Kiki's fine.
Yep, Kiki. And you're the queen of the mountain. He kind of points at Nikki.
Look
Crazy.
Yeah, and you're the sex fox, he says, pointing at Allie. And you're getting a real,
by Allie, but sure.
Yeah, you're getting a real, dad meeting his kids' friends, but doesn't interact with them a whole bunch, so he's like, hey...
I'm not going to remember your name, but I am going to remember something you probably don't want me to call you.
Bessa? Yeah.
Allie is fine.
Cool. Yeah, so you folks heading somewhere? We can, I'd like to... You've taken such good of my boy and his friends. We'd like to do what we can.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly pay our way. We wouldn't want to put you out and take away other customers, of course, but we're looking to get to Zamzadoon.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I think there's a turtle heading out that way. We can get you on there.
Perfect.
Do you have any gear, or do you have any, do you need... Is it cargo, or is it just you?
Just us in the backpacks.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll get you out. Hang on. And he goes over to a book, looks at the... Okay, cool. You're going to go on Murph.
I was thinking of something from the other campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Raise an eyebrow.
No, he's cool.
He nods.
He's a real fast turtle.
Turtle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
How long does it usually take to get there?
From here, Murph's pretty fast. It might take, an hour or two. We're gonna, we're not making a lot of stops.
Simple enough.
Yeah. So and the way he explains to you, this is more like a train route than a boat. Like, this thing just pops from island. This thing literally island hops. But this is sort of, he guides you on an express, heading to where you need to go.
Or on the Excella.
Yeah. So he tells you where to go, and you come down to, not so much a dock that, you're used to, Nikki, with, Inventos. This is, multiple small and large lagoons that are... This is probably, a small inland lake in this area, but it's saltwater-esque. But there's definitely portions of drinkable, potable water around. You think they just are very capable with water and water-based magic around here. And you walk up to a probably juvenile shellback that's kind of bobbing in the water as beings hop on its back, and sort of there's no chairs. They just sort of take a seat on the turtle's back. Some pop out cushions, some put mats down, but everyone just kind of settles in and just waiting, much like you wait for a train or a bus to go.
Is Murph's head above water? I
yeah, and you
him?
see he has a little he has a little hat on that just says Murph. Like you'd put a name on a boat. It's just Murph.
So Kiki will walk up, be like, "Hi, Murph. I'm Kiki,"
The head swings towards you,
and she's like, "Permission to come aboard?"
and this huge eye just stares at you.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yep, and you see another lizard folk just kind of throws down a rope ladder for you to climb up.
Kiki just wanted to address Murph as a sentient being.
Yep. So they head up, you all get on, and you hear the geckos just kind of marching in time with Thrax. He's kind of back and forth, like Seven Dwarfs style, and they all get on. And then Murph takes off, but Murph goes fast. He is cruising in the water. And as Terry said, in about 2 hours, you get to Zamzadan. You see it's much similarly built as Mundus is. It's slightly less fortified than that trade town is, and it's a little more lizard folk centric, as there does appear to be a lot of like fishing and oyster farms. This is a little bit more agricultural, but this seems to be like a hub for smaller villages to kind of come to centrally for goods and services. You also see a lot more merfolk around here, as this is a little bit further out in the Isles, and the water appears to be, from what Nikki can tell, the water's deeper around here for whatever reason, so
Okay.
the merfolk can probably more easily get to here than they can the Mundus.
Kiki will ask about schedule for like return turtles. Just so like folded up, because so often we go somewhere and we never have a plan to get back. So she's learned.
True. It's true.
With her 22 intelligence, she's finally learned to like ask. Because she'll ask for like a little schedule when they go.
Yeah, so they tell you that Murph makes like 3 or 4 runs a day, although it sort of changes depending on what needs to be loaded on. So he's you folks came here pretty early in the morning thanks to the Heartway. So he's going to make 2 more runs today. He should be back a little bit after noon, and then once, so that you would be able to get back to Mundus before it gets dark.
Yeah. Okay. She'll make note and make sure that the party knows that.
Yeah, and they, everyone disembarks, and you are in the town. Again, same kind of open air, a couple of, like a very reinforced palisade wall kind of around. What would you like to do, Gaffers?
We need to find who's in charge. Barry, do these is it like a mayor? Is it a king? Like what's the government here?
Oh, out here probably elders.
Elders, and where are they typically usually, like on this island?
Big Sun Rock, and he points up, and you see there's like a building that
Smart.
is just a lot of flat tops on the top, and you see some of the older looking lizard folks. Their scales are a little whiter. They're not as sort of vibrant as like berries are. They're just kind of laying out there. But it is, since it's usually big and clear, a lot of big amphitheater spaces where you see people are gathering, like a forum or a market, that have retractable awnings to use if it gets like in the noonday sun, or which the lizard folk probably don't mind a whole lot, but they realize that like Nikki will not like that, Kiki will not like that, you two probably don't care being tieflings, but other beings are not going to really much appreciate that. Or if like it starts pouring rain, you can get under cover.
Nice.
Kiki will ask the geckos, is there anything that we should know about approaching the elders?
And Barry
I'll show you, like, are we supposed to bring a gift? Is there a specific way to word that we'd like to talk with them? Like, just
and so
101.
Always be respectful to the elders. They've lived, many of them, a very, very long time. You don't have to give them things, though it never hurts. You don't want it to be... You want it to sort of be respectful, because if it's too lavish, they're going to think you're up to something. Or you're trying to buy something. The ones around here are... Like, the lizard folk around here, he tells you, are the more like... They're interested in the outside world and things kind of from beyond the Isles. You're not going to have the isolationist ones, but the further we get out into the rim, or like the more the less centralized, like these towns or villages, the more you're going to find are isolationist ones. And for them, as long as you don't, most of them won't kill you on the spot or anything, but they're going to want you to not come into what they claim is their territory.
Do you know?
Kiki will ask if she's afraid of making one of her like wind up towards the beach.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a bad idea. I wouldn't make it explode. That would be bad.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so while we're talking and figuring stuff out, Kiki will like get wire and stuff together to make a little sculpture. She's going to try to make it of like 3 geckos, and one's going to have like a weapon, one's going to have like something designating that's healing, and another one like 3 aspects of what they have brought to Three Peaks and to like the temple and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
You could do a little plant for Laverne and Shirley because they run
There
the
you go.
greenhouse.
Okay. So like a plant, something like a healer kit, and then like one with like a spear or something. And it'll just be a simple tool. They'll just sort of move a little bit, like almost like a clock. So she'll work on that while we're chatting. And
Oh, also, Miss Tessa, they love baked goods.
Oh, well, that's no problem then. I got you covered.
Okay. So
Got plenty of cookies.
yeah, so Barry kind of tells Hiss to head off, and Hiss scurries to kind of see when they can see the elders, and Hiss comes back, and Hiss kind of name dropped you a bit because they are aware of you, so the elders are willing to see Tessa because they said the champion of the conclave is here. They're interested in that. Like, that's a big deal that someone has shown up here like that.
Of course, we're all going. Because Tessa's just going to assume that means all of us. So.
Right, so all of you roll in, and you see roughly about 8 elders are sitting there, of various types of lizard folk. Like, Tessa, you see one of those big crocodilian giant ones, like, that hangs out of your aunt's keep. There's a couple of geckos, a couple kind of mid-ranged ones, various types of kind of lizard-looking folks. But they are all definitely older. Like, you see some of them have a lot of scars on them from fighting. Some of them are kind of missing teeth. They're a little bit bigger than their kin kind of around them. But they're all just sitting there, and they all welcome you. But it's Somek that kind of walks out first and begins speaking in the lizard folk language. There's a lot of hisses and stuff, so Allie will be able to understand what he's saying. I don't think anyone else speaks lizard folk. Yeah, so Allie, Somek is giving you an introduction, and he's like, you see him kind of walk up and bow. He says, "Welcome, venerated elders. Thank you for seeing us. We bring news from the north. From our magics have seen a great problem here in the Isles, and a doom that might befall this town. We have brought, though, the champion of the Free Peaks and the Conclave and other strong fighters to come and deal with this." And they all sort of nod, and then Somek kind of backs up as Barry sidles up next to Tessa now, and Kiki goes, "If you're going to do gifts, now's a good time."
Oh, okay. So I do pull out a giant bag of cookies, and I step up and I bow towards the elders.
Do you pull them out of your chest?
That's where they live.
Right, I know. But as soon as that
Where else
happens,
would you pull them out of?
as that happens, there's like an audible from all of the elders.
I want you guys to know that as Scoot made that motion, my cat, who is napping next to me, made a very quiet noise, which was really just perfectly timed.
Cookies? So Tessa will bow and thank them for their time and present the cookies.
Right, you see the big alligator one grab the bag, open his mouth, and just pour about half of them in. And he begins not really chewing, because crocodiles don't chew per se, but you see him kind of throw around his mouth, and he swallows. "It's them," he says in common to the other ones, and there's like a, "Oh." And you see one of the smaller geckos leans in and goes, You're of the legendary Baker clans in the north, aren't you? In the Tiefling lands.
I mean, we do make a good baked good, I must admit.
We've heard tale of you from some of our long ranging ones. His name is Croc and Gex, and they.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they both have brought home samples of the legendary baked goods, and there's like, oh, and now like once the rest of them hear that, like the other ones that didn't get the cookies are looking at the crocodile one like, you fucking asshole, why did you eat half of them? Like,
it's okay, I have more.
Do you pull more?
I do pull out another bag.
There's another like, whoa, like the legends are true. And
Tessa will never reveal her secret.
No. But they're like, whoa.
But they're always fresh. Always.
No, obviously. Straight from the oven. So there is they take them, and you see young kind of guards come down and take them and look at the big crocodile and then pass them out to the others. They begin like, some of them, the smaller ones can sort of chew, not like the crocodile guy. And there's like and the elders seem quite pleased by this, as other people are kind of looking around and trying to figure out a way to get at the cookies.
Do you want to do your thing?
Yeah, so Kiki would have asked one of the geckos how to say the following in lizard tongue so she could mimic it. And she would basically, it's just a few words, but she would just say like a very small gift to represent the large contributions of our gecko companions as warriors, healers, and tenders of the land. We feel so pleased and honored to have them with us.
Yeah.
She'll just wind it up and show them what it does.
Yeah, so Barry will quietly but quickly tell you like how to say that. You mimic it, and there's like oh, okay. Like they were not expecting that to come from a bird person. And a few of them really figure out that you were Kenku, but some of them don't seem to be as familiar with that. So they're like, oh, okay. And they all nod to you, and they ask, well, what can we do for the champion of friendship and her compatriots?
Well, we are actually here to warn you of some things that might occur as Somek was explaining. So Tessa will explain how there is going to be this kind of act of subterfuge where the Druid is trying to have two factions fight against each other, make it seem like factions are fighting, so that they can prepare for this, be aware of this, and also about the Fae Gate that we need to go investigate.
Make a persuasion check, please, Tessa, with advantage.
Yay. A 35.
Okay. They believe you, and they're very no, they're taking it very seriously. And you hear the crocodile elder let out a kind of roar, and you can hear footfalls from outside as you see a couple big ones like him, as well as a couple other lizard folk and a few of the smaller geckos creatures just sort of line up as if these are, they will explain these are pathfinders and guards. They will get you through to where they think where you've told them the gate was supposed to be. They seem to have some knowledge that there's this natural font of power out there, from one of the nests is how they refer to the various people, so a village is basically like a nest, but for some of the more isolationist ones, they don't have a lot of information about them. Those folks stay to themselves. They will show up sometimes if they need help and can't do it themselves, but they know that they haven't heard from that nest in a long time.
Molly will also say to them, and it will sound like their own native tongue. She'll tell them that, we've also dispatched an emissary to the Fae courts to warn them that someone is attempting to provoke them into attacking you, and that they should not be baited into such act.
Yeah, they are going to, at this point, the elders are going to, they've, some of them are already discussing that you're not directly engaged with, and the representative who's been talking to you that kind of speaks the best common of all of them is saying, no, we are going to thank you for this warning, we're going to warn our outlying nests, we're going to begin to prepare for an attack. Bring supplies in. Probably ask for help from Mundus and a couple of the other larger cities. Kind of send that out. Although any help you could provide would be greatly appreciated.
I was about to ask, with your consent, of course. I lead a number of units called Shear. We have some units that are specifically designed to help protect against interplanar attacks, so folks coming in from other planes. Right now, a decent number of them are, in fact, dealing with other attacks, but certainly with some rest, and perhaps in about a month or so, I could have at least one of those groups sent to help you shore up your defenses, since there seem to be about 2 months before those attacks will occur.
And we would appreciate that. Although one does raise their hand. When you say shear, do you mean like the fabric?
Yes, it's a reference to Fran sheep. You
I
shear
see.
wool from a sheep to make fabric.
That makes sense. Okay. And they will then tell you that one of the Pathfinders will take you to where where that kind of group lives.
Through the Slap chat, people ask the party, is it like, I get that they accept that this stuff is going on, like, should we actually like name the Druid and she could make a minor illusion of what the Druid looks like so that they know that this is...
Yeah, I think it couldn't hurt to know what that guy looks like, that way if they know who they're dealing with.
So, well, I mean,
Yeah, so Tessa will explain that there's this druid, and then she'll gesture to Kiki to create an illusion. This is what he looks like. He is a liar and a manipulator, and also kind of crazy. So just, this is what he looks like, so be aware. He's also very powerful.
He's also a druid, so he may not always look like this. He occasionally looks like an animal.
That is true, yep.
All right, 1 second. Okay, so one of the smaller geckos kind of thinks for a moment, and then Allie will hear, because of your stupid perception, did you see that the human woman that came a week or two ago, do you think she's connected to this? And the other one kind of looks like, maybe, I don't know, but she didn't seem... And they're definitely having a little side conversation, but you can hear them. Because your passive perception's out the ass, and they're not trying to be... They're trying to talk quietly, but they don't know like how quiet they need to talk.
Yeah. Allie will say, "Excuse me, and I'm sorry to eavesdrop. I don't mean to, genuinely. But you referenced a human woman coming here recently?"
Yes, and now that the lizard focused thinking, she's like, I can't really recall a lot of details about her. I know she was a human woman. She had brown hair, maybe? But she came asking a lot of questions. And, she traded. She brought garments. She brought baked goods. She traded with some of the local farmers and ranchers. But, it was asking a lot of strange questions.
Did she seem to want information and knowledge more than anything else?
Yeah, she was also looking for a very specific dagger.
You know what dagger?
She showed us a picture, and it has it was a very fine steel, a steel I didn't recognize the way she described it. And there was the hilt was supposed to be more like a serpent, but I think it was supposed to be some sort of sea serpent or something, not like a snake. But she was looking for it, and she had said that her information had led her to here, but we don't have anything like that. I mean, the old temples are. I mean, we've taken them apart to be used for other things at this point. And there's nothing left in there because it's our stuff and we've moved it around, obviously.
Did she say anything about why she thought it was here?
No, she just mentioned that, how we lizard folk have been around the longest. So she figured we might have it, or, she said she had looked in Mundus and a couple of the other larger settlements, but she was just kind of going down the list from big to small.
And you've never heard of anything like that?
I mean, there's many artifacts and And she sort of smiles with a little bit of pride, like, when you've been on the planet as long as we have, somebody makes something, so...
Somewhere at some point, somebody had a snake dagger of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, somebody probably... She's probably not wrong. I don't know if it still exists or is in... I mean, it could be in a shellback's stomach. It could be at the bottom of the ocean. It could be in a dirt pile somewhere. Like...
Did she say anything else about it? About why she wanted it?
No. Something about an heirloom. Some crazy story that when people come looking for these things, there's always some reason they're doing it.
My great-grandmother's uncle's brother's cousin's roommate owned this beautiful, priceless dagger that I must now reclaim.
Sure. And again, we stopped. We don't ask a whole lot of questions. We just, sell them things. As long as they're not causing problems, we don't bother them. They don't bother us. Damn fools usually end up with one of the survivalists, and, well, they take care of it for us.
You said she was hard to kind of remember.
Yes, even now, it seemed like I know she was a human woman, but I can't remember any of the details about her. It just seems like I could tell you, but it just seems like every human woman I've ever seen.
We have a suspicion as to who that may be. There's an old goddess named Sigretti. Quite old, from before the War of the Gods. She'd been locked away for quite some time. She's been released and seems to want to make a good deal of trouble.
If you will, make a minor illusion of her symbol. Just to say,
Yes, that.
You see this and someone associated with it? Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen... She had something like that on her, and she was with a guy, a human male that was wearing that symbol.
When we say that the Druid is bad, you will say, like, she's even...
He works for her.
The Druid's working for her. She's like the grand boss.
Yeah, when we say that he's the brains behind it, she's the capital B.
We need to tell them this, and there's an agreement as you see that they're calling messengers forward of, like, you're going to go now. Like,
Gretty's been here. This is, like, deeply bad news, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible that she's kind of planted the seeds of trying to manipulate some of your people against the Fae. I can't say for sure that she has, but it's possible that she has. And so I think getting the message out that, someone is going to try and provoke you into a war that you have no need to fight.
Yeah, so there's another one of the lizard folk speak up at that concern, and to give you an idea, this is like Queen of Thorns, the lizard folk, who just sort of looks and goes, she's not the first to try that. She won't be the last, unfortunately. We have ways of dealing with this. We just, thank you for telling us so we know.
Of course.
You make sure that they know that she's the goddess of secrets, and that's whatever we can do to be transparent and forthright, and like we're being with them. We can power, even if infinitesimally, like she's just like, you might know of her in your records. It's really hard to find out about her.
Yeah, there's an odd sense though that I would like everyone to make an insight check, please. Roll the 20.
2.
I want to point out that Tessa and Allie got the same number, the same roll of 22, but for very different rolls, very different modifiers.
Yeah, I had a good roll. She had a bad roll.
I had a terrible roll. I might...
Is there any, like, text, by the way, like, carved onto stuff?
Yeah.
Any lizard folks
they have writing
all over?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've just been kind of quiet, just reading it, enjoying my relatively new ability to read anything. So I got a 26 insight. So I've been kind of like, quiet, observing, and I noticed.
So you folks are like, as you're watching this go down, everyone but Kiki, unfortunately, because Randall got an 8.
Aww.
The lizard folk don't seem as freaked out about a god walking amongst them as other folks might. And what you're seeing, Nikki, is you're kind of there's a lot of stuff written in here. It seems like a lot of like some of it is literally like dockets from weeks past of when they've had like official meetings in this place. But there's a couple of old legends that talk about lizard folk fighting like archons of gods.
Badass.
Yeah. They all didn't go well. Some of them did, some of them didn't.
But they tried.
Yeah, and they've been around a long time, so this is probably, to Nikki's reading this is something they're concerned about, but this oddly does not seem like their first rodeo, so they're going to be doing some sort of preparation for this, but there's a definite sense of there should be more panic to what you have just told them. And some of the younger lizard folk are like worried about that. These elders seem like more really annoyed by this than panicking. Like, this is gonna fuck up the clan
Allie's also gonna send through the Slack chat to Tessa. Do we want to invite them? Wait, are the lizard folk already in the?
Some of them are. The lizard folk are not a united empire of people. That's very
we
factional.
Can extend.
I was gonna say, does Tessa want to offer? If you'd like to be involved.
Sure, she'll make the offer. So yeah, you guys are welcome to join us. We can give you your own sending stones, so we can keep you aware of any comings and goings, and you can ask us for aid.
Oh, we'll have to bring that up at the next meeting. But we're happy to help in this endeavor at least.
Well, you're always welcome at the temple. So if you ever decide you want to, please feel free to have actually Barry or Terry write to us.
Oh, you're Terry's boy. They looked down at Barry, and Barry's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Kiki will tell Tessa to tell them that there are baked goods at all of the official meetings.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so the official meetings are fully catered.
That has piqued their interest probably more than anything
That's a good
else.
point, Kiki.
It's like, Yeah, the lizard folk are not... They're known for being very good craftsmen at a lot of things. Baking has never really been something they've grasped a whole lot of, for whatever reasons. They just... God, they love it. Yes, like, okay. Yeah, but we, let's get you out and moving.
Oh, sure, yeah, let's get all this stuff settled first, and then we can...
Yeah, but they'll take... they'll figure that out later. So the Pathfinders, along with some extra, like, guards and guardians, take you out of there, because... not all the Isles are tame. Some of them are quite full of very venomous and poisonous creatures. So luckily with these Pathfinders, you get your way there, but you also avoid all of the isolationist lizard folk that there are basically corridors of neutral path that no one lays claim to, or somebody does, but everyone tells them to shut up. Like, water doesn't count, it's borders, shut up. And none of them are big enough that they're going to take on Zamzadam without being wrecked. So they lead you to where they think, where you've described, and you see something very different as you hit the shore. It is quiet, but there are no birds. There is no nothing. It is just, you hear the moving water, but it is incredibly silent.
That's ominous. Everybody, I think you should be on your guard. If you weren't already.
No birds. Kiki goes first.
First. That's a point of inspiration, Randall. Good job.
Thank you. Kiki's so pleased that she can just say whatever she wants to now.
Like, get your swords and shields out. Kiki's like, first!
Yep. But yeah, it's very quiet. And like the Pathfinders are like, this is... Like, you walk in and they're looking for signs of something. Because they have ways to contact these people if something were to happen. So, like, if a huge storm is going to roll in a tidal surge, they will tell them, hey, this is coming, so you know. And then they'll usually get a wave, and then they move on. But, like, they're looking and they're finding the signs that we usually use to contact these folks, and there is nothing. And that makes they're on edge.
Can I use my divine sense to search out any fae or nefarious creatures? So I have a 60-foot range on that.
Okay. Yeah, you pop that, and there's nothing right now.
Do we see a fae gate?
No, it's a pretty dense, jungly island. It's decently large.
Okay.
Like it might take you an hour or so to walk from one side to the other, but you still would have to do that.
Okay.
But it is sort of.
I can use that 5 more times, so I'll wait till we get a little closer in.
So they move in, and I would like everyone to make me perception checks, please.
18.
27.
Only a 27.
And that's a bad roll for me.
14.
Okay. Allie is the one to pick this up, and Tessa finds it as well. You're moving through the brush, and Allie, you notice dirt that is very out of place. Like it's dug up. It's not freshly dug, but it's dug up.
I send back through the rings. Does Nikki have mold earth?
No.
Any of the geckos?
Yeah, some of them will. Did you bring all the geckos with you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave them out of my sight. I mean, unless they wanted to stay and like hang out in the.
Yes, I want to hang out in Lizard Folk land. That's fine.
Yeah, so probably Hiss and the more scouty ones came with you. The other ones that are like, Barry and Stomach probably stayed back. But they, Hiss kind of hops down and looks at it and just digs out some of the dirt, and up pops a reptilian hand that is locked into that position.
How dead is that hand?
Fully rigor mortis.
But is it like a skeleton, or was like this happened a week ago, or this happened like 18 years ago?
It is decaying.
Allie can pop into box form and basically dig it up the rest of the way fairly quickly.
So as you and Hiss begin digging, and some of the Pathfinders come up with like sort of their kind of more natural implements, there's more than one body.
Is this a mass grave?
This is a mass grave.
Oh god, we found a mass grave.
Yes.
How did they die?
Medicine check, folks.
Ooh. I think I'm terrible at that.
Oh, I crit failed.
Oh, so did I.
I'm going to use a point of perspiration.
Okay, boom.
I've got a bunch of them.
Nat 20 for a total 21.
13. Okay. Tessa, you are so full of anger at this as you...
Very angry.
Very angry at this, and so is Sis and the other geckos that came. The 2 crits, these died in battle. These fought. Although as you sort of uncovered a bit more, some of them, it looks like some of them were killed very quickly and unawares, because you see slit throats, you see big, stabs through the backs, like wounds that at angles, Allie and Nikki, that did not come from battle. So Nikki is very used to this, because sometimes on the dock, this is the shit that would happen. Real quick murders, basically. Allie, some of the other ones died fighting. But there are weird marks on them as the weapon. These aren't clean cuts that were made. These were not made with metal implements. These are made with like crystalline, because the cuts are just different.
Like kind of jagged edges, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So with the 2 crits, can they tell how many days ago this was?
This was they've been in here in this mass grave for like heading towards a month, definitely a couple of weeks.
This has been some time then.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we should maybe say a word out of respect. Or just like take a silent moment.
Yeah, how are the geckos?
They are they're not happy with this. This to them is a slaughter. It's one thing, like they're not happy. There's also like this happens sometimes because like the isolationist tribes can get wiped out because they sometimes won't ask for help. But like for something to damage the nest this hard would require, like, with the cuts that they're saying and what you explained to them, like, someone destroyed this. This wasn't, they picked a fight with a monster they couldn't deal with. They're not thrilled.
So it looks like somebody kind of snuck in, started killing off some of them, the rest of them woke up and started fighting back.
Yeah, and we're probably overwhelmed.
Very dishonorable.
They're not, they're pissed, but like they're on guard right now. Like pragmatism is kicked in. They're like, we are in now in enemy territory. We don't know what's going on. So we're not going to make a big deal about this, but we're not happy at the moment. Like, we're going to deal with this later, but not right now.
The elders didn't send anyone with us. We just brought our own.
No, they sent
they did.
pathfinders and guards with you to kind of get
they
you
did.
around
Okay.
the areas you need to go.
So, he will ask is like, is it appropriate in the bodies, or is it like, let's deal with that later? Like,
and they'll look at you and go, look, some of the isolationist ones will eat their dead if it came to it, because it seems like a waste. We don't know what this particular group's deal was. If they did that, some of them don't. Some of them bury people that have done good things for them, but we don't. They kick in and say, like, their plan is to, like, rebury what they've dug up, and then unless you folks want to do something, they're gonna leave. Like, they're gonna head back.
Why take the time to bury them, though? Like the people that attacked here.
they're trying to be secretive, maybe.
Maybe, but we're kind of far out here. Would anybody have, I guess, noticed? It seems odd, but...
But one of the Pathfinders says, if you're planning to stay, you don't want these bodies decaying around you and poisoning your water and
So they might
supplies.
still be here. Probably are here.
If they buried them, and if you said if they're holding a Fae gate, then they would want the corpses away from their town. Or what they're holding.
So we're probably getting close.
Mm-hmm.
Through the Slap chat, people ask is our objective, if the Fae gate is active, near active, or even partially constructed, is like our primary objective, like shut that shit down, like destroy it. I mean, there could be a lot of different things, like tactic people, capture someone for questions. So she's like, I know we don't know a lot right now, but she just wants to get a sense.
I mean,
Go ahead, Deb.
personally, I would say I don't think we want to risk keeping a Fae gate open because there's very large, very mean things that can come through. But if there are some people, already milling around, we can question them. But I think our priority might be to shut down that gate, and also so they don't use it against us.
Yeah.
Right. So if it's active or looks like it could be activated, if it's like half constructed, I don't know, like Kiki.
The enemy's gate is priority, yes. Also possibly down. Our goal is to make the enemy's gate be down, I suppose. That was not a pun, Scoot.
I know.
I considered it thoughtfully.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Thrax a Horizon Walker Ranger?
He is.
Horizon Walker Rangers have that ability where they can detect the nearest portal within a 1 mile radius of them.
No, he's scanning and he's locked into the deeper heart of the island, and he's waiting for you folks to talk and kind of decide what you want to do, but his fingers are itching on his bow. Like, he wants to move in, but he also doesn't want to. Tessa will feel him being conflicted. Like, he does not want to risk these other lizard folk or Sis or the geckos that you guys brought. But he will speak up and say, "Look, I'm happy to go in. I'm quick and quiet. So is Allie. We can go take a look." But
I think we need to know what we're up against.
Thrax is going to. Oh my God, Thrax is a moment of brilliance. He goes, "Look, they don't know we know, right?"
hope, I would assume.
We need to go take a look, because if they know we're poking around, if this thing is fortified, I don't know if we're enough to get through even with the gruff.
Nikki, maybe you can throw an invisibility on them just to be safe.
Yeah.
I want to get up in the... Can you hit me with invisibility? Because I want to get up in the sky.
Yeah, who needs it? Just Thrax?
He goes, if I'm going to the sky, I want to be invisible. Like...
Sally, are you going
Yeah,
to?
but like I can upcast it and get multiple people if we need, if you want other people
I
to
mean,
be,
if you
to
make
be
me
up.
invisible, I'll search ground and Thrax can search air potentially because I can move faster on the ground than I can just about anywhere else.
I'm
do you
for it,
all
yeah.
right? Yeah, I was wondering also if you were going to.
If what, Randall?
If Ali was going to do it in fox form, but if she's invisible, that's
Remember, her fox form is not a typical red fox. It is a very colorful
Yeah,
neon fox
yeah.
form.
Well, no. So actually, in fox form, she's now white with or silver with blue tipped tails.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 5 of them. So
Someone's going to notice that.
not the most
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah.
And
I'll pop a
Allie
third
cannot
level
glamour
invisibility
herself.
then.
Tessa's
And
wisely
get Thrax and
going to
Ally.
stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Protect the gecko.
Thrax will take that.
Not because you're not stealthy.
Yeah, Thrax will take that invisibility, though.
Yeah. So yeah, Thrax and Ally, it's gone.
Okay,
Be careful.
I will. And you hit him, and you hear the whoosh as he takes off. Allie, you hit her, and Allie goes running. Thrax tells you the direction before he leaves, because he knows where this thing is.
I mean, we can be in contact with the Slap chat,
Right.
and I'm sure as Allie will be keeping an eye out, obviously, for any kind of like traps or impediments around her as she's going. But she will ask Thrax to also, like, if he sees anything, to warn her.
And I can probably hone in on him too.
Yep.
With that bond.
So Thrax from above, Allie, actually helps you to move around patrols.
Okay, perfect.
That you're seeing, because you begin to see a very odd thing, in that you see Fall Fae, but they're with Famodians, which you know would be not a normal thing.
They appear to really be Fae? Are they something glamored, maybe?
That would be an Arcana check.
Allie's gonna try and figure this out. 14! Not terrible.
They look like Fae.
Right. Now the question is, do I burn a point of inspiration on this? I can't come up with like a story-wise justifiable reason why Allie would be able to notice that kind of thing. Because like she's only spent a little bit of time with Faye in kind of Finn's company, so I'm gonna not spend a point of inspiration because it would not make sense for Allie to be able to know that.
Okay. So go ahead and Ellie, make me a perception or an investigation check as you get close.
I'm gonna spend a point of inspiration on that crit fail though.
Good call. You get to the ground level, and you and Rex find a sort of a small mountain, like kind of a rolling hill mountain, not like a rocky, that leads a almost a made switchback path. And there are heavy fortifications that were probably here before. So a lot of it is wood. It looks like it was originally wood. It looks like whatever like lizard folk group lived here, this was their main encampment. So they kept it pretty defensible because they were just expecting that because they were kind of on their own. But this has been reinforced over the past few weeks. The wood looks different. It doesn't look like wood or like mahogany. There is a metallic sheen to it as the sun hits it.
So ironwood?
Probably.
Allie knows what ironwood is.
Right.
How much? You said it's the fort is made of iron.
No, not the entirety, but
sorry.
like sections
Jesus
of wall.
Christ.
Yeah, sections of palisade wall in between like rock and
Got it.
stone wall is there. So like
Most expensive fort ever.
Jeez. Spared no expense.
no, you don't see the portal, but Thrax can feel it as he's looking up there. But it's probably he'll talk to you. Like it's probably inside. But there are they have set up a lot of defenses, including like counter siege, like crossbows, ballistas that you can see. And Thrax has been guiding you around like physical traps, but like there's, as you get close, as you probably get into like there's a main outer wall and then an inner wall. If you got beyond that, there's definitely magic sitting there waiting to be popped off. You're just at a far enough distance that you are not tripping anything, or like you're dodging around foot patrols around here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make an insight check for me, please.
Okey doke. $22.
Okay. You have, with you and Thrax talking and him seeing what he can see and you can see what you see, like, this is not something that you and the gang are going to crack by yourselves.
Right.
You need help.
Oh, come on, we can take him.
Like, yeah, like, this is one of those things where, like, even if Kiki has the gruff now, which, could you bust in? Yeah, but there are a lot of beings. It's just a numbers thing where, like, the group you have is not big enough to... You could go in and shut down the portal, and if nothing else has come out from that cave, whatever's in there, you would be... Even if you snuck in, shut it down, if they caught you, you're trapped.
Okay. I have an idea. So at this point, I assume like Thrax and I are like, we have to go back and report on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we get back, Allie will absolutely kind of share all that we've noticed and observed and what our insights are. Tessa, did you give Neva a sending stone before she left?
Yeah. We'd want to be in communication.
Right. Is there a way for us to figure out where this gate opens up in the Feywilds?
We can certainly ask. I can give her a call.
Because if we can do that, we could have reinforcements join us from the other side.
That's not a bad idea. And we might be able to get reinforcements from Zamzadun and Mundus, too.
And if they're attacked from both without and within at the same time...
Or take out the gate from the other side, or both.
We could be the smaller group that can kind of sneak in there while that's happening and shut down the gate. But yeah, Tessa will use the Neva stone that she has for just such an occasion.
That would come, Mom.
Ah, yes, gotta call Mom.
Neva's on speed dial.
So Neva roughly would have been, I'm assuming starting with the spring court to kind of let them know of like, hey, there's this attempt to manipulate going on.
Had to go to the crossroads first. That's your main point in. So at this point, you're probably there getting things ready with the king and queen, then on your way to the spring court. Yeah.
Tessa? Is that you?
Yep.
How are things down there?
Could be better. There's a lot of forces here, and there's a Fae gate that we don't know where it's going, so she does relay the plan of how we want to do this attack.
What kind of creatures are there?
Tessa will relay that information. So they appear to be Fall Fae, but they're also with Famodians.
So there's all like Allie and Thrax have seen all manner of the court, like various courts there. Allie ran into a patrol that was Fall and Famodians.
But there are other courts that are also represented.
So they may or may not actually be Fae. We don't know. But that's just what they appear to be.
What does Neva think about that, Scoot?
What does Neva think about that?
I don't know. Scoot, she's the one who knows Fae politics, not me. Like, what are the odds that, like...
Who really knows Fae politics?
Like, a significant... That's fair. But what are the odds that, like, a significant number of Fae would align themselves with Famodians?
Very slim. Now again, there are Famodians that, like, are fine and don't...
Yeah.
Like, there's that have, like, good relations with the courts, but, like...
These kind.
For like this operation, like they wouldn't do that because the courts and those like the Famodians that aren't jackasses generally respect the rules of like not taking territory on the mortal plane. So these are probably merc asshole Famodians. And
Got it.
the court, from what Neva know, would either be additionally just assholes or ones that bought into that dogma of like fuck civilization, nature.
Oh, it's a cult.
Got it. Okay. So it seems more likely to be kind of like, not rebel. What's the word I'm looking for?
Defectors.
Rogue actors.
Rogue factions, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She would relay that back. They probably are real Fae, but rogue factions. I'll include that in my information to the courts. You're saying they have the gate, but you're not sure where it comes out?
No, it appears to be under heavy guard and inside, so we can't get very close to it.
Scoot, what would you even know about how to figure out where a gate dumps out?
You'd
Go through it.
Yeah, go through it. That's probably your easiest way to know. You would have to be in contact with whatever ruling court members are in those areas. They would have a rough idea of where the gates should be. And if there's one active and pumping, then they will know about it. Or at least they should, unless it's being veiled or something, but they will be able to sense it.
Then I guess Neva has to go on a montage of talking to the various courts and being diplomatic at them.
Yep, and so she probably just turns around and heads back to the crossroads, because that's the quickest way she's going to get communication with the various court heads. Like, traveling to those lands would take way too long. Yeah.
I mean, so at this point, Neva has hunted in enough of the various lands, because sometimes hunts do cross boundaries, that she probably could do transport via plants to get to places, but it does seem politer to reach out to them from the crossroads as opposed to just, like, walking into their lands.
Yeah, it's also going to be more efficient to do that and get hold of people that are there for this express purpose of being in communication with the crossroads.
Yep.
Okay. So are you folks, you're heading back to Zendadun, or are you...
I think we have to. If we go in there, it's just going to be suicide right now.
Okay. So as
we need to come up with a plan.
Yep. So, and as you all head back to... as you head back to... You come to the village. You notice the village is a little bit different, as there are more non-lizard folk there than there were before. And many of them have shiny golden armor.
Well, this is an interplanar occurrence and a breaking of the Accords.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't
Do
even
you recognize anybody?
Allie and Tessa would. Standing there is a goldish red dragonborn with a big old battle axe, who has brought a few detachments of these fellow golden folks with them that are more or less setting up, they're sort of setting patrols and stuff and kind of reinforcing this place. And there's, sort of set up a camp, and he's just come out from talking from the elders and, like, paying his respects and everything. This is their land. He's a guest here and, getting the lay of what they're allowed to do. And he looks over at Tessa and Allie and Waves. You've met this gentleman before. His name is Rhett, and he is the commander of Reaver Legion. The people you go to make problems go away by chopping it in half.
Well, very glad to see you, Rhett.
Yeah, no, we found a big incursion here that, if you ladies want, I won't butt in. This is your party.
Pride is not.
Well, right now the
do.
matchup seems to be something like approximately like what number roughly would I have estimated them at?
Oh, you're like 10-15 to 1 right now.
Yeah, so like there's nearish 100 of them, and there's nearish 10 of us.
There's more than that.
I thought we might be able to make those odds a little bit. I'm not great at math, but I feel like you might be able to help make those odds a little better.
No, but Kiki is. Have you seen her designs for trebuchets?
It's fucking brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's going like at least 500 more yards than anything I've seen.
Kiki puffs up with pride, like all her feathers, all like fluffy. She's like,
But now that your reinforcements have arrived, on top of the lizard folk mustering people, because fuck that. Like now, as the scouts come back to tell the others, are like, oh no.
Mass grave of our kinfolk. Let's go murder.
Let's go deal with this. Is like messages.
Today we choose violence.
More messages are sent to Mundus about like, hey, this is what happened, and the elders seem pretty sure that like people are coming. More lizard folk are coming.
Allie's gonna make a suggestion, and obviously, like we don't all need to do this, but she's gonna ask Kiki to minor illusion a bunch of the images that we've seen of like what the Fae and what the Famodians look like, so that at least some of the folks who are going in can disguise themselves. Which, I mean, obviously they have magic defenses, and in all likelihood they're going to detect illusions eventually. But if we can sow some degree of confusion by at least when we first enter having some of the lizard folk or some of the Legion look like Famodians or Fae, that might help us with our element of surprise aspect.
which Kiki will be happy to do. That's not where I thought you were going. I thought you were going to want me to show pictures of the mass grave to like rile people up, because like those like our kinfolk.
I think they're plenty riled without images of their dead kin. I think let's go with here's a practical call to action.
I was just like, oh shit, that's cold, and I'm like, okay, yeah, she'll happily do that.
Yeah,
and Allie will also let Rhett know. We've got someone working on the other side of things to try and identify where that gate is coming out in the Feywilds and see if we can maybe get some reinforcements from the inside.
Oh, that'll be fun. Actually, hang on. I have an idea. I'm not going to do it because she hates me, but I'll have Mala do it. Now, Allie has no idea what he's talking about. But yeah, we'll have a nice surprise for them. I think she'll be in on this. But that's what we'll leave off this week, folks. So thank you very much for coming to Ryam, and we will deal with this. The Gaffer's doing a siege, which is a turnaround from a little while ago. But thank you for coming to Ryam, and we will see you all next week.